Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the third and final video of the little series that I started about my journey moving to the United States as an international student. This is actually the most exciting part of this entire application process because at this point you have now been admitted, you have now gotten funding, you have now secured funding for everything. You've gone through your visa process, you've gone through you got funding for your flights, your visa, your school. Your life is about to change. You're about to embark on a whole like new exciting journey and all of that. And let me tell you, during this time, like, you are so secretive because I get umuntu or as secretive as a person who's going through a visa application process. Like, nobody is as secretive as a person who is about to move abroad. Like, nobody. I was dead silent at this point of my application process and my journey moving abroad and all that. I was dead silent. I told nobody nothing. My mom was with yo, I just be like, and stuff. And like, mind you, I even told my own parents about this whole thing 2 weeks before I had to leave. 2 weeks before I had to leave, because parents get excited as you've accomplished something so great and you're doing well and they see your hard work, and then then they start telling people it was your opinion, so I didn't want them to do that. So I was very secretive about this whole thing up to this point, but this is like the most exciting part of the whole thing because you've accomplished so much, you've come so far, and it's finally happening for you. And if you are at this part of the application process, congratulations, ma'am, or sir, congratulations. Like, it's a process, and you have struggled and you've gotten through the challenges because it's one thing after the next. So congratulations. And yeah, siyabongela. And these are just a few tips that I wanted to share in terms of like the packing process, what you need to prioritize and what I wished I prioritized had I known any better. The first thing that I want to talk about is documentation. So in the packing process, share even yourself, but the documents are the most important thing. Make sure that you print copies of everything. Before I left, I made sure that I made copies of my ID, my license, my passport, my visa, what else, your admission letter. So depending on whatever school you end up choosing, the school that gives you that 100% funding, the school that is able to give you all those forms, your I-20s, the people who are funding your flights, the people who are funding your visa, etc. Make sure we see all those letters, because those letters and those confirmation letters and all those documents are going to come to you in the form of emails. So print them out so that you have them and you're not going to have any trouble when it comes to crossing the border. Because masebe, when you get to airports and stuff like that, you're going to get checked. They're gonna check everything. They're gonna check your bags. I had to leave perfumes at the airport. I had to leave drinks too because they didn't, they had issues with those things. So make sure that you have all the documentation that they're going to require, because they're going to go through every single little thing. They go through everything. Like, guys, they will go through everything, and they have the time to go through everything. So don't think it was I'm gonna get skipped or what. The most important thing, documentation. Make copies of all your documents. I don't know, like, try and make 3 copies. Maybe this is gonna seem like it's too much, but try and make 3 copies. I took 3 different planes, so I knew if I'm going to have to leave one copy somewhere, I need to have another copy in handy in case I'm going to need it. I had those copies on my phone too, but I just wanted to have them like printed and have them easily accessible for the border control or patrol people. And the second thing that is important that I want to emphasize, before you leave, make sure that you get a medical report. I think that this is something that is actually required by the visa people. Like, before they approve your visa, you need to show what you get tested for stuff. So I think they will require a medical report, but in the case that nobody is going to require a medical report at any point of the application process, you need to do that for yourself. Get a medical report of everything, like your medical history from the time that you were born. get it on paper to the time that you are right now, and get tested for everything up to this time. Have proof of all the vaccinations that you've ever gotten and stuff like that, because sometimes you're going to get somewhere and they're going to say, oh, in this state we need this and this. In one of my videos, in my TikTok videos, I mentioned Wuti, AMA laws in the United States are different for every single state that you enter. So in the particular state that you're going to, they might require some form of vaccination that your friend who's in another state didn't need. So just make sure that you have proof of everything, your entire medical record, your test results, from STIs and STDs and chronic illnesses and vaccinations, etc. Have it on paper, have it on record. And also, because this is going to help you too, right? If maybe you have a chronic illness and you get sick, right? It'll help the doctors be able to determine, oh, this patient actually has a history of whatever, which will hopefully ease their process of treating you. You're going to enter in a new country, so it's important for you to have those things in handy. And with the medical report, I would suggest also you get a supply of medication. If you're a person who's chronically ill, get 6 months supply of your medication so that you don't have to pay for it when you get here, because here medicine is very expensive, seeing a doctor is very expensive, consultations, yonke into related to health is very, very expensive. So I would suggest that you do all those things before you actually leave. Go see the dentist too. I went to go see the dentist before I left because it's expensive. Don't think I'm going to be seeing a dentist until I actually visit home. That's when I'm going to be seeing a dentist again. So get all the medical reports. Those are important things that you need to prioritize when you're packing. The third thing would be hygiene products. So just to ease your transition, try and stock up on things such as pads, your sanitary towels, stock up on things such as the lotion, the kind of lotion that you use, because you're not going to find the things that you use here, the products that you use back home here. And your skin sometimes will react to the weather conditions. For instance, it is hot here. When I got here, so make sure to prioritize, the weather conditions are going to be different. So prioritize getting things that are going to allow you to transition swiftly. You'll still have all your products, but as the months go on, during month 2, you start testing out American products. Start testing out Vaseline, because they are Vaseline fruity, the petroleum jelly, it's not the same as the South African Vaseline. So start testing out things, see what works for your skin, what dries it up, so that if your skin does get irritated, you can always go back to using the products that you got from home, right? And then you can just keep trying different products until you find the product that is the one for you. Also, while you're still starting off, you're gonna be broke, broke. So the best thing to do is to just try and minimize spending as much as possible, and things such as and lotions and all that will cost you a lot of money, but if you have it, then you can save a lot. The fourth thing I would advise you bring is spices. You are not going to find the same kinds of spices that you are used to in this country. It's a new country, they have a different way of eating, so even the food is different. So for me, I did pack spices to try and make it easier for myself to transition into the whole thing. I do have only Norix cubes left now, but I did give myself some time to test things out, is up there, black pepper, use their Creole, what is it called, Creole spice, etc. But I did also have my own spices that I had brought from South Africa. There are South African shops that you can find here, but for some reason I haven't found some of the spices that I like. For instance, the 6 gun, I haven't found it. The aromat, I haven't found it. But there is someone on my TikTok who recommended that I could actually get original aromat from Amazon. But kubanzima, you have to order it, you have to wait for things, and so for you, Nje, just to ease your transition, and life is gonna be hard, the first few months, the first 3 months or so, it's gonna be difficult for you because you're making that adjustment. You're gonna get frustrated by a few things. At least spices from back home, at least you've had a rough day, but you're coming back and you're gonna make curry that's gonna smell like your home, your kitchen from back home, So I'd advise you, pack some spices. If you're a girl and you're a girl who likes having hair, I would say that you should invest in getting a wig. Get a wig, girl. because hair here is way too expensive, and like you find the silliest, the craziest things about some chargelas when they'll charge you. They'll give you policies, they'll charge you if you're late, they'll charge you if your hair is too long, they'll charge you if your hair is too short, all these things that are just crazy. So the easiest thing, so that also you can save money, because really you're a student, right? You make, I mean, your stipend is enough if you compare it to the rent. It's a lot of money if you compare it to the rent, but you are living in this economy now, and as a student you don't really make that much. So I would say get yourself a wig or a couple of wigs so that you can look pretty on a budget. You know, you don't have to spend money in order for you to look nice and put together. Get yourself a wig and uze nice and you were already done and just ready to go. The least important thing I would say for me is clothes. Clothes really don't matter, because you can always get clothes once you get here. But what I would advise, for instance, Mina, I looked at like the state that I was going to, and I checked like their weather conditions, and I thought to myself, okay, the only thing that I feel like I'll struggle with is winter, because generally, Mina, I get very cold during the winter, so I prioritize packing coats. I knew that buying things like coats and winter boots, those things would be more expensive than having to place things such as summer tops or summer shorts or dresses. Isn't though the summer generally don't really cost that much compared to winter stuff. So I prioritize packing winter stuff. So check the kind of state that you're going to. If it's a place that doesn't usually get that hot, then you know the kind of clothes that you need to pack. And if it's a place that gets very hot, then you also know the kind of clothes that you are supposed to pack for your trip. This is all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that it was informative. If you have any questions, you should comment on the comment section below, and I'll respond to your comments as soon as possible. I will see you in my next video.